This is Austin from The Body Curious, and today I'm going to be talking a little bit about hydration and fascia. And fascia is for the sake of this particular conversation, is a highly hydrated form of collagen. And collagen is made up of a triple helix. And with my modelling balloons today, I have indeed a triple helix, just for your viewing pleasure. And without squeaking too much, that blue one in the middle is water. And this is worth thinking about when it comes to fascia and movement. Now, all fascia is connective tissue. Not all connective tissue is fascia. However, it's worth bearing in mind that the connective tissue that is fascia can include cartilage, bone, and also, strangely, blood. Now, without getting too far down the rabbit hole here, I want to kind of stick to the idea around hydration of fascia. Is that most people think of hydration as being, oh, I just drink water. It's like, well, that's not entirely as simplistic as that. Is that drinking loads and loads of water will just simply flush the mechanism out and won't necessarily help you hydrate as well as you could be doing. And for those of you who think, oh, well, I drink tea or coffee or alcohol or sugary drinks and they all contain water, it's like, well, technically speaking, that's true. They do contain water and it's better than nothing. However, anyone who's drunk too much alcohol and woken up the following morning will notice they will have a hangover. And the hangover is predominantly because your system is chronically dehydrated and lacking in fats and vitamin C. So, to hydrate the system, the body has a particular regulatory system within it. Now, just the same as, say, insulin is the regulator for the sugars in our body, and leptin is a regulator for fat in our body, and mTOR is the regulator for proteins in our body, histamine is the thing that regulates our hydration. And hydration is the balance between water, salts, and sugar. Now, you may have heard of histamine, particularly for those of you who have allergies, is you'd often take an antihistamine to bring that allergy reaction back in check. Well, there's a guy called Dr. Batman Gelish, who in his experience, he said that he reckoned about 80% of allergic reactions were actually more to do with the chronic state of dehydration in the majority of cases. And even in accident and emergency these days, they actually check you for dehydration first, particularly in the developed world, is we don't appreciate the value of water or hydration in our society. It's because most of us are indeed drinking fizzy soft drinks, coffee, tea, etc., and we're not actually drinking water little and often and hydrating the system. And if we're taking medications that counter the histamine response, then this makes the body's job of regulating hydration really quite hard. Now, histamine, it's interesting, is the histamine response is actually quite uncomfortable for anyone who's ever had an allergic reaction. You think, well, we don't want that, do we? Is that, well, the body actually's job is based on survival, not really whether you're comfortable. And when it comes to an allergic reaction, what's happening is from a histamine's point of view, we get the histamine response, which is usually inflammation in the extremities of the hands and arms and also the feet and legs, is because what's actually going on is that inflammation response is actually creating a squeegeeing effect of squeegeeing up the fluids into the main cavity of where the organs are, is because we actually, from a survival point of view, we actually require our organs to survive. Heart, lungs, liver, kidneys, etc. are kind of like point one from the body's point of view of survival. And this is what the histamine response does. It actually enables us to survive because it believes it's threatened because of lack of fluid within the system. So when it comes to hydration, this idea of water little and often is really quite important, and that water quality needs to be good, and obviously there needs to be minerals within it. So over-filtering our water can actually have a detrimental effect on the system. Now, when I used to have a reverse osmosis system, what we noticed is that there was a demineralization going on, and so we ended up having to have a secondary filter system, which was like a big filter of salt, which helped the system remineralize the water. It sounds a little bit like, well, come on then, it's kind of a pain in the ass. So it is, but the thing is, we actually require these things for good quality hydration in the system. So think of fascia as a lovely triple helix with a one of those water molecules running through it to function correctly, and we need this to rehabilitate correctly. And we are multi-directional just as much as the helix is. It's a spiral, this motion of movement. And even something as simple as breathing, we tend to think of breathing as being kind of this, in and out that way, when actually the body's actually breathing, and it's in a this kind of motion. We breathe in, breathe out in a slightly spiral motion. And this is why twisting, twist and shout, is actually rather good for our body. So, this is Austin signing off. I hope you join you next time. Cheerio!